Hey, well, welcome to the day. I am Janelle Hudson, and you're about to hear the most unique podcast out there with Blade. Personally, he's a favorite of mine because he tells it like it is. He's one of a kind, just what I love. Enjoy the show, and remember all Blade content, including past shows, are available at bobtheblade.com and on his YouTube channel, which is Bob the Blade. Here is Blade.
Maybe you and my 65 plus demographic can relate. Maybe you can't. I was listening to The Bridge the other day on my Sirius XM. I was listening to it the other day, and it was, Dave Mason, We Just Disagree, who I just like a lot. He was in Traffic in the days. He played in the band Traffic, and it sounds like it wouldn't fit, right? He doesn't seem like a Traffic kind of guy. They were, at the time, really heady, kind of maybe potheads, really weird, ethereal, mystical out there. And Dave Mason seems like a regular kind of guy, but I had dinner with Dave Mason, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, maybe 25 or 30. Maybe he was 50. Maybe he was 80 years. Maybe it was 10 years ago. I don't know. But look, it's another Blades list to anyone who will listen. Blades' favorite traffic jams. Rock and roll stew. But anyway, why do I have to know exactly how many years ago it was? I don't. Because I can't. But he said to me, all you need is Jimi Hendrix. Very profound that night. We didn't talk much about anything, really. I told him a story once about how I was in college at UNCW, and I didn't have any money, and I didn't have a car. All I had was some pot. Middle of the day, like 10:30 or 11. And I did have Let It Go, Let It Flow, the Dave Mason solo album. Right? And I loved it, Mystic Traveler and We Just Disagree and Let It Go, Let It Flow and all those songs. And I'd play it back and forth, track to track, and smoke pot because I didn't have anything else to do. All my other, roommates, I had like 2 other roommates and they were always in class. I couldn't make it to class. Anyway, I told Dave Mason that story and he said, wow, that's really cool. And that's all he said. What would you say? These rock stars, they just don't know how much we love them. I've always said this, it's such an unrequited love. We literally love them. And they have thousands and millions of people that just are in love with them. Literally in love with them. People that he doesn't, or they don't know, right? And when they die, it's fucking sad. Really, really sad. Like you've lost a loved one. You relate to them so much. Always thought that. Breaking news. Blade gets a shoe lift. Some of you may remember that I had my hip replaced at the age of 64. Some may not. But a problem arose from that. Breaking news. And this is it because I have one leg that's longer than the other. And I've got to pitch tomorrow, right? And one leg is 1/2 inch shorter than the other, and that's my left leg. So it falls first or earlier than it ever did before when I pitch, and every pitch is outside. So I bought some shoe lifts. Now the good thing about them is you don't have to wear tennis shoes with soles that are this big on the left foot and this big on the right foot, look like some freak. It's these little pads, and you stick them inside your cleat. Put 1 or 2 or 3, however many you need. That way maybe I'll become a person who is not stricken with LLD. People in my demographic, 65 plus, may know what I mean when I say LLD. It's called leg length discrepancy. This one's 1/2 inch shorter than this one. LLD, it's tough, man. There's support groups out there. Call the LLD hotline if you're having trouble with, or else go get a shoe lift. I swore I wasn't going to do that. Doctor tells me this. He says, look, no, your legs are the same length. It's just your pelvis that's crooked. Well, fix the fucking pelvis. See how it turns out tomorrow. shoe lift. All right, so the only other fun I really have in this life, because there's nothing to do in this frickin' town, I'm not going to take a walk, or walk through the desert. I'm going to read my National Geographic a little bit outside in the porch. It's beautiful. I just painted the gate. It's beautiful. And speaking of men's 55 plus baseball, February edition of the National Geographic, I find a picture of this sloth. Have you ever seen like a sloth? Can you see this picture? Look at this video clip of this sloth and how slow they are. People know that sloths are slow, but I had no idea they were this slow. It's because all they eat is leaves and they don't have any muscles. And they can't move any faster than that, and they're trying to conserve. They have no metabolism. They take a dump once a week. And the protective part of being so slow is that the jaguars and all the animals, the predators in the jungle don't see them because they move so slow. They don't attract any attention that way. They're so fucking cute. They are. And so, you can't read National Geographic without there being an article about rock climbing or hiking. And in this February edition of the National Geographic, it's about how to make a trail. Don't overdo it because you don't want to make it look like it's overdone. You got to make it subtle looking if you're going to make a trail. There's this picture in here, and it's kind of heartbreaking in that it's this beautiful park, San Joaquin National Park in South Brazil, right? And it's beautiful. It's got a lake and all that kind of stuff, boop. But it's a kind of a upward slant slope kind of thing to get to the top of the mountain. When you get to the top of the mountain after a 6-hour trudge, it's not a hike, it's a trudge. You see this beautiful lake and the eagles are flying and they're cawing, and you see these cascades of waterfalls everywhere and the mountaintops, While you're trying to get up there, you're worried about things like, tall animals that come out of the tall green grass, or getting bit by huge mosquitoes or bugs that carry diseases, or ravines or caverns. 50 feet down there, you could slip and fall. Have these skinny little trails, that you could fall. You could break your ankle. You could dehydrate. They have these mudslides, after these sudden rainstorms, you go all the way back down the 3 miles you just trudged up. But 3,000 people a day hike up this crevice, I guess, to get to the top of this lake to see this view. And it has degraded totally the land. That's what I mean by heartbreaking. It's totally degraded the land. 3,000 people a day? Hikers do that. You need a policeman there. Stop, you're going too fast. No left turns up there. They've got to have traffic jams. They've got to... write out a ticket or so. You're going too fast. Ambulances just waiting for someone to, get bitten by a Carpathian bear, or attacked by King Cobra. 3,000 people just totally ruin the land. And you get up there and life, and, beautiful things are fleeting. And then you get up there. What do you do? Camp up there? You get eaten at night by some kind of wacky animal you'd never heard of. And then go back down, which is just as hard. Makes no sense. What? What the hell? Venomous snake encounters. Dangerous insect bites. And there are highlights too, like the basalt rock formations. Oh, I'd give anything to see a basalt rock formation. I can understand that now. Give me those binoculars. Oh, that's basalt, sure enough. All right, let's get up there. Conserve all your water so we can make it to the basalt rock formations. Make your day. How was your hike up there? 6 miles up that thing. Well, we saw the basalt rock formations. Really? Those things are like anything. Once you see it once, just like the Grand Canyon, you're like, okay. 2 words to hiking. Fuck that. It's one of the things I will not do. Here's an illustrated list of some other things that Blade will not do. I will not use the term partner. What do you have to hide? I've said that before. What do you think this is a picture of? Take a look. What does that look like to you? Looks like some dead animal that's been around for, 110 million years. Sitting there in the desert, right near my house. That is a dead cactus. Been there for, I'm going to say 250 years. It sort of looks like there's fingers or claws or something. It's a dead cactus. They don't disappear. I laughed. I don't laugh at bumper stickers or anything that I ever see on a car. I don't give a shit what you think, your opinion on your car and your bumper sticker, but I laughed at this. No problem. Funny enough, I giggled. I might not have giggled, but I might have acknowledged to myself, not bad. And you see the Salt River and these horses, these wild Mustangs that run around. How the hell do they survive? Because it does not rain here from March to October. It does not rain, and you see these horses of 10, 15, 20 packs running through the desert. And then after you have a monsoon in the summertime, which you do from time to time, this is what you get. It's a joy to see. Heartwarming is what it is. Lastly, I cannot be any happier than sitting down to a freshly cooked meal at Wendy's. I cannot. A Dave's Double. Ketchup, cheese, and mustard only. You know why? Because it's tasted the same in that square burger since I was 15 years old. It's one of the best memories and attachments I have to being young. Oh, Dave's Double. I'm still eating a Dave's Double. And I still remember the contest where we all would show up after school. Let's see who can eat a triple. And nobody ever did. Nobody could ever eat a triple, a Dave's Triple. No one. And when you order and it takes about 5 extra minutes for them to get you the French fries, that's when you're happy, elated, because that means they're cooking fresh ones. You don't want an old Wendy's French fry. You want nice, fresh Wendy's French fries. Why? Because they're the best fucking French fry in the world. And if you disagree, you're just wrong. You're not even close. You're way off. Best French fry in the world is a Wendy's damn French fry. Sitting there eating a Dave's Double with the French fries, a Coca-Cola, medium size. I can't be happier. Thank you, Dave, for your fresh burgers. Listen, I got a pitch tomorrow. I'm going to use my shoe lifts. I want to see how that goes.
All right, guys, that will do it for the day. Sponsorships are available, which include showing and explaining your product on the show. Only $50 for now, and 2 are available. Come and get them. This is Janelle Hudson, and we'll see you next time right here on the Blade Podcast. For all past shows, hit the website up at bobtheblade.com.